So the Iran conflict is dominating headlines at the moment, and most of the coverage is focused on the fighting, the geopolitics, and the stock market. But there are some really important second-order effects that are going to have really catastrophic impacts for the world's pork, and they aren't being talked about enough. The Strait of Hormuz is a 20-mile wide trade route that a lot of the world's trade passes through. It's a giant choke point, and it was effectively closed this weekend, driving up global oil prices. Now, oil is one problem, but fertilizer is arguably an even bigger one. Nitrogen fertilizer, the stuff that makes crops grow, is synthesized from natural gas. And Qatar, which was hit by drones over the weekend, produces much of the world's supply. And the Strait of Hormuz carries a third of all globally traded fertilizer. The price of fertilizer jumped $70 per tonne in a single week, and unlike oil, there's no strategic reserve for fertilizer. So zoom out to a faraway place like Malawi, the world's poorest peaceful country that has already been struggling with 30% inflation. It's a landlocked country, heavily reliant on agriculture, where families spend most of their income on food and everything moves by truck. So a shock like this arrives fast and hits hard. They have no domestic oil or fertilizer production and will soon be facing shortages and rising prices. For a family already living in extreme poverty, this can be the difference between eating and not eating. And this will be true across countries across Africa. We've seen this dynamic before. When Russia invaded Ukraine, food and fuel prices spiked across Africa. But this conflict hits the same pressure points, energy, fertilizer, freight, but potentially harder because the Strait of Hormuz is a more concentrated choke point than anything we've seen before. So at GiveDirectly, here's what we're doing. Our emergency cash team is tracking the potential for a widespread humanitarian crisis in the Middle East. But we're also monitoring what the secondary effects are going to be for the world's poorest families. Because people in Malawi, people across Africa didn't cause this war. They have no leverage whatsoever, but they're definitely going to be feeling it.